let's go get in the garden, guys. Walked out on my front porch, and is this not the happiest little surprise to see as soon as you go outside? These are the rest of my seeds that I ordered. And we will just go set all this stuff down and open it later. What's that?
T-post stomper.
Mm-hmm. Finally got the right tool. Good boy. So I talked to you guys about how we're going to be changing our, cattle panel over to face a different direction. And we are also adding more to increase our vertical growing space. So we are going to be putting those in today, and we'll show you how we do it. It's super simple. You just need T-post, cattle panel, and preferably that tool we just showed you. For years we have just used a like rubber mallet. Does not work. Does not work, guys. Don't do that. Good boy. Gonna set this down so I can help him. Just put that in your pocket.
That's fine.
Okay. Lay them out where we want them to go. It is a mud pit back here. Of course, where our other cattle panel are that I need to grab.
Where do you want these?
Well, they need to go in the next few beds. So we're putting the first one in, and the dilemma we're gonna hit here in Middle Tennessee is it is all rock under the grass. So we hit a rock here, so now we're gonna figure that out. So this might be a process.
Alright, so
Someone needs to bend their saw.
where do you want it over here?
All the way to the edge.
Right here?
Yeah, like where you would have the edge of the cart in the bed.
Is it far enough now? Good. Down. Oh yeah, I remember. Just wanna go through the holes? Three enough?
Yeah.
You see the lights?
Yeah, it looks nice.
Make sure it's like touching. Perfect.
It looks so good because we'll have it all the way down this row. So we have four more to put in, and this gets me so excited, guys. You don't even know. So as you can see, there is some space between the two, but we're fine with that because we have plans for each one to grow different stuff on it. So that would actually help it not kind of intermingle and try to take each other over. But obviously you could meet them up together and layer them. We just wanted to make sure they were going to the corners of each bed versus attaching in the middle to maximize our growing space. So the sun's going down. I'm so ready for longer days. And this is a 3-person job, not 2-person. Third person needed to go run some errands. So we're gonna finish up the cattle panel trellises tomorrow, which is fine because it's a little chilly. We would only have time to get all of that done. And I've been itching to plant what came in the mail today. I've been waiting for it excitedly for 2 weeks now. Didn't take that long to get here. Just had to order it at the right time. So let me show you what we're gonna plant today real quick. Our neighbor's lovely UT flag blowing in the back. All right, I'm so excited for these. I've never grown this before. This is my first year growing these. But I ordered some onion sets. So they're like little started onions from Dixondale Farms. I've never ordered from them, but another experienced gardener ordered from them and suggested them. So this year I'm really focusing in our garden on storage foods because that's something that's important to us, learning how to do with our little mini garden. We want a future homestead. So we are really going to be geared towards, you know, fully eating off of our garden, which includes storage during the winter. So we're focusing on storage foods, so like squashes, cabbages, beets, carrots, those things that you can store in a root cellar or in like a makeshift root cellar. And then things like tomatoes, onions, garlic, peppers that are good things to have on hand for storage. All the salsas this year. So this is my onion order and I'm just so excited. They're so cute. Can vegetable starts be cute? Is that a thing? So this was only $13 for all of these onions, and it's about, it says 75 to 100 come in that, and that's their smallest order. So this is a lot of onions. So I'm actually hoping we have the space to plant all these. We have limited garden space, so a lot of people, this is more than what they have. But for other people, this is a lot smaller than what they have. So I am really trying to maximize our garden space. As you can see by the vertical growing, we will be growing a lot of stuff over that, and I'll kind of talk you through it once we get them all put up. I'll show you what's going where. And so if you remember, I planted a whole bed of garlic. Here's what I was thinking while I was planting that garlic. Garlic bulbs get to be about that big. They don't need that much space. So I left about 5 to 6 inches between each one, which is what they recommend to do just for garlic. But I know how things grow. I know that they'll have plenty of room, even if I plant these onions between them. So these need about a total of 4 to 5 inches growing space between them. So I'm gonna kind of, you know, zigzag garlic, onion, garlic, onion, garlic, onion, so that they are having enough space. Gonna play around with it. I think it will be great. If anything, they just won't be ginormous onions, but still really good size storage onions for what we are hoping for. Little straight one in there, but let's get planting. I am so pumped. Oh, these are their candy onions. So they're yellow sweet onions, which are our favorites to have. We cook with these a lot. I love just cooking them up on the cast iron skillet and eating them straight, like little sauteed golden onions. So good. All right, let's go. So this is the bed where we have the garlic planted, and I'll try to get close so you can see what I'm talking about. So here's a row of garlic. Here's a row of garlic. They have about 4 inches in between each one here. And this is definitely about 5, probably at least 6 inches in between them. So I'm gonna plant the onions straight down the middle to really utilize this bed And it is gonna be so full and luscious come summertime. So I've shoveled out 7 rows between the rows of garlic to plant these garlic sets in. I'm gonna use this stick, best gardening tool you can have, to poke a hole that I'll just set the set straight down into. You just wanna plant it to where basically it's fully covering all the white you see, and the green part will still be sticking up. That's my method with this that I've never done before. That's just, I don't do things necessarily per what they suggest, which maybe isn't the best, but I don't like to measure out 4 inches into the soil. I'm gonna do it based off what it looks like to me. And that seemed to work in the past. Coffee break, because my husband is a sweetie and brought me some coffee since it's cold out here. And as you can see, because my nose is getting red, doing work when the sun goes down, it's not as fun. But I love this mug because it is from Salzburg, Austria. We brought it back in our backpacks last year. That's where we went for our honeymoon. We went to Austria, Czech, and Germany. It was so fun, but I'm getting all sentimental being in the cold and drinking a warm drink out of this, because this is what you get at the Christmas markets when you get Glühwein, which is their like spiced hot wine. So good. Okay, now I'm warm and toasty. Back to planting all these onions. Garden work, it tires you. So out of all those, I was only able to not fit 13 in this little space. So I'm going to go look at my garden layout that I have sketched out and see where I can squeeze in 13 more tomorrow, because this bed's packed and no more is going in there. Okay, so real quick, while we have this last little bit of light, I'm surprised it still looks this bright out here. I thought I'd show you what came in my botanical interest order. So I did some fun garden shopping like 2 weekends ago with Christmas money. So when I was going through my garden planning, I've talked to you guys about we are really focusing on storage. And that includes herbs. So I went to Botanical Interest, and then this other place that order is not here yet. So once it comes in, I'll show it to you and talk all about it. But the fun part about ordering seeds from multiple places at once is you don't remember what you're getting when it comes in. So it's exciting all over again. Okay, so I think, yeah, what I love about Botanical Interest is they always send you like free seeds, and they kind of go along with what your order was, which is really sweet. So in this, I ordered a lot of herbs. So they sent me forget-me-not, spring and summer seeds. So it's just a lovely mix of shade-loving heirloom flowers. So that's really nice because it's something that you can plant around the shade, which isn't very common for your gardening. And those are beautiful. So I will definitely do that. They send a seed starting guide, which is really nice. That helps you out. So the 3 herbs, and then I got a like holiday pack because it was more affordable and I wanted all these herbs that were in there. So these three, I got holy basil, also known as tulsi. It's a great medicinal herb. Chamomile. Chamomile is like my carrots. For some reason, I've tried to grow chamomile for 4 seasons now and I've gotten 0. So I think what I have been doing is planting it way too late, which is when it's past its last frost date. Because I've learned that these actually like to be planted a little bit before your last frost date, because they do not do well in the heat. And then I got some broadleaf sage because I love cooking with sage. It's so good. So in this little pack, it's called the Chef's Herb Garden. I got, wow, this is like, okay. I got all of these seeds. This is a great order, and I didn't spend that much, guys. I think in total this was like $13. So I got basil. Oh, I didn't know this came in there. Onion bunching scallions. Yeah, that's what those are. They're scallions. Okay, so I can grow those in a pot and use those. Cilantro. I'm not a cilantro fan. My mother-in-law is, so I will grow that for her. And then I got some dill for all of my pickling. I love dill pickles. Fennel, this is one that was included in here that I didn't necessarily need, so I don't think I'll grow this year unless, because I don't think I'll have enough space for it, but we'll see. I gotta look into it. Oregano, parsley, rosemary, and English thyme. So out of these, the ones that I bought this kit for because of what I needed was organizing it, was these 5: dill, oregano, rosemary, thyme, basil, and then there's a better deal to basically spend what I was already spending, and I got fennel, parsley, cilantro, and scallions for free. And I'll probably grow some of these, but not all of them. So yeah, and if you can believe it or not, I have more herbs on the way from another gardening company that I found that I'm really excited to see how this works out because they are pretty cute. Yeah, that is what came in this. So this is getting me so pumped for the garden season. Y'all don't even know. So I will pop back on this video tomorrow with our finished cattle panel rows and to kind of show you a little bit of what's going where on those cattle panels. We won't do the whole what's going where in the garden just yet. So it's the next evening, and we basically finished getting most of our T-post into the ground. So we live in Middle Tennessee. It is known for having a lot of rock in it. So what we hadn't experienced with in the past with our cattle panel, but we experienced a lot more this time, is rock being right under the surface. So we swung into some issues with that where we had to change it up. Actually bent one of our T-posts that we were trying to drive in, like the very bottom of it. So we weren't able to put in one of our vertical growing cattle panels. We'll have to do that another day because we're gonna have to go get another T-post to use. And we had to change up how they were spaced out on one of the beds just a little bit. Okay, so over here in the first bed that we did yesterday, you can see how there's some space, and then another one. Over here, we had to do both completely where they meet up to each other and leave some space right here. And I'll probably just throw some flowers right there in that open space because right there is a huge long rock that we ran into and we just could not get around it. So on this one, we'll have the same things growing, so I'm okay with them potentially intermingling. And then we got this one up where it meets up to the corner like we want. So hopefully once we get a new cattle panel, we can get that other one on that corner. So how we attached these cattle panels to the T-post were just with zip ties, and we did about 3 down each one, and then just cut off the excess. So on these very back row of cattle panels, and the one that we'll add whenever we get a new T-post, we're gonna have acorn squash growing over that one on both sides. And then on this one, I'm gonna have purple potted pole beans growing on that. And then this entire middle bed is gonna be all cucamelons. This will be my first time growing those just for fun. And I've learned that they really take over whatever they are growing on, which is why we're just gonna do the whole entire middle of them cucamelons, because I don't want to risk them taking over whatever else is trying to grow and like choking them out. And then on these front 2 cattle panels, on the very front one, we're gonna have our Chinese yard long beans, which are about a yard long, as they are saying. So it'll be a beautiful entrance to the garden where they just hang down. And then the one right behind it, we will have peas growing up and over it. So I am just so happy looking at this. It's so beautiful. I really love adding an artistic approach to how you can make the garden look if you just plan out with a little bit of extra time where certain things will go where, to give it just a little bit more of a wow factor. So I am so thrilled for these to be completely full and just to have that magical feel come end of summertime. I'm gonna call that a wrap, guys. So happy we got them put up. Getting ready to start some of my cool weather crop seeds in the next few weekends, and I will definitely take you along for that process. Thank you for hanging out with me.